Hello and welcome. I had a bunch of apples in my refrigerator, so I cut them up. And I also had some puff pastry sheets and some other ingredients. And today we're gonna make apple pie puff pastry cups. And let's do it. We're gonna start by making our apple pie filling. 8 tablespoons of butter in a saucepan. And when that gets melted and bubbly, we're gonna make a roux and make our sauce. Our butter is all melted up, and now in comes 3 tablespoons of flour. Mix that up, form our roux. I may need a whisk. Whisk it up, make sure all those flour lumps are dissolved. Okay, nice and tender and bubbly. Now in comes a cup of granulated sugar. Make sure that's well mixed. It's getting there. And now in comes 1/4 cup of water. Got to get back to the whisk. And we're going to turn off the heat and let this cool down a bit. This is our sauce that we're going to toss with our apples. Our first puff pastry sheet is on a piece of parchment. We're going to pinch the seams together. And now we're going to cut them into circles. I'm going to save the remaining puff pastry to use for something else. I'm going to wrap it up. Here are our puff pastry circles. I've decided to keep my second sheet of puff pastry together and make this into another sheet for the circles, because I only need, my muffin tin only has 6 spots, and the first batch gave me 4, so I think we can do 2 more, maybe even more than that. Definitely. Our full puff pastry sheet and the scraps are going back in the freezer right now. We'll use them for something. Here are our puff pastry circles. I've kind of stretched them out a little bit. And now we're going to grease a muffin pan. I think I'm not going to grease it because we got to press these guys in and up. So let's put them in. Because this puff pastry is pretty thin, I think I might want to add a rim to go further up the sides. So let's grab some of those puff pastry strips and do it. Here are leftover scraps of puff pastry cut into not perfect strips, but we can press them up and make it work. We'll start with the first long one, which will probably go all the way around. And a little piece to finish up. Now they're deeper. and pretty much up the sides. And we're going to continue on with the rest. That worked. Our cups are deep now. And we're going to set those aside and make our apple filling. I'm going to cover this up and stick them in the fridge. We are now going to toss our apple slices with a couple tablespoons of cinnamon, coat them up, keep the cinnamon in the pan, in the bowl. Nicely coated up, and now we're going to add our sauce. Preheating the oven to 400 degrees, and here comes our sauce. Mix them up. Until they're well coated. The tongs will work better than a spoon. And we are getting there. It's time to fill up our puff pastry cups with our apple pie filling. We'll do it a little at a time. I wish I had some gloves. I'd like to do this with my hands. I'll rearrange it with my hands at the end. And we're gonna have some of this apple pie filling left over. So we'll see what we're gonna do with it. Maybe we'll make some apple pie puff pastry hand pies with that other puff pastry sheet. That would be yummy. Okay, let's arrange these babies. Pretty good. So we're going to continue on till they're all nicely placed. Our apples are in our cups, nicely organized. And now I would like to make a streusel topping to sprinkle over the top. This is butter, brown sugar, flour, and cinnamon. And we're going to combine those together and top up our apple pie cups and then bake them up. I'm smushing them up with a fork and it's working. So when we get it well mixed and crumbly, we'll top our pie cups up. Our streusel topping is done. Now we're going to sprinkle just a little bit on top of each one of our cups. Topped off with our streusel, and now we're going in the oven 15 or 20 minutes. Our puff pastry apple pie cups are out of the oven, bubbly and browned up. Crust looks brown too. Feels done. And now we're gonna have us a taste. I'm gonna let them rest for a minute or so, and then we're gonna have a taste. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to remove one of these from the muffin tin. I'm gonna go around the edge with a knife. My cup, and as you can see, the outsides are cooked too, and the bottom. And now we're going to top it off with some vanilla ice cream. The best vanilla ice cream ever. Here we are, ready to serve, and now we're gonna take a bite. Thank you for joining me while I played with my apples and puff pastry. And here is our pie cup, and the ice cream is melting all over the place. Whoa, sliding on the pan too. And now we're gonna take a bite and see how good it came out. Here we are on a spoon, melted ice cream, nice apples, puff pastry crust, and in we go. Those came out so darn good, and I look forward to eating those and just enjoying sweetness and crunchiness and creaminess, and we'll see you soon. Have a great one.